gentlemen, welcome to another Dish Yelta Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good sir. It is good to be here where apparently my vibes are being captured via the bits and bytes.
Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any topics, questions, concerns, opinions, criticisms, please just drop them in the chat, be it on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, and we will try to add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. So, let us start off. I know that we're starting off a little bit late, and I apologize for that. I had a basketball game tonight. It was the first game of the season. We won. I think I pulled something in my arm because I'm getting up there in age, apparently. But
just top it off. Solve all your problems.
Yeah, no, I can't. Well, if it was my non-shooting arm, I'd be open to that opinion. But no. Anyways, all right.
You just have to learn how to shoot with your foot.
Oh, that's dangerous. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing is exciting news, ladies and gentlemen. Sandman Season 2 has a release date. Well, 2 release dates to be exact. It turns out they're going to basically spit out Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Ah, yes.
Volume 1 will be released July the 3rd. And Volume 2 will be released July 24th. Now.
July what?
July 24th.
Okay. So, 21 days between the two.
3 weeks apart. But now, remember, this is unfortunately going to be it for Sandman. Just like Good Omens. Good Omens, of course, their final season is just going to be a movie. Sandman is going to be a 2-volume affair, and then this series is gone. And then don't expect any other series coming out anytime soon from that certain author.
Yeah, I would be curious if all of that had not happened, if there would still be a season 3. I mean, I'm totally fine with consequences for actions and canceling it, or I guess, having the way it is, but you're always kind of curious, like, what could have happened?
Well, if you read the graphic novels, you would know that there's definitely a lot more source material. But that being said, from my understanding, Sandman was one of the most expensive shows for Netflix to shoot, which was why they dragged their feet for so long to say if there was going to be a season 2.
Sure.
Even though everyone's like, oh my God, it's amazing.
I guess I would also be, have 2 great seasons and wrap it up well.
Yeah.
Instead of doing like so many other Netflix and other, streaming services for that matter, where it's like, oh, we had a show, we're just going to cancel it with no actual finale. Just
right.
bye-bye.
No, I think that you're going to get some sort of closure by the end of the second volume of this thing.
Yeah. Well, I know what you'll be doing on the 3rd and 24th.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Actually,
okay, so
I believe on the 24th, I might be on vacation, so I might have to wait until I get back.
I say, do you have the patience to, if you so desire, to wait for the first volume to come out when the second volume does and then binge it all? Or are you just going to be like, screw it, I'm going to watch the first volume and then I'll watch the second volume when I get to it?
Oh, no, it's going to be, I'm going to have to watch the first volume and then agonize over the amount of days that I have to wait for the second volume to come out.
How will you survive, sir? How will you survive?
Probably binge watching a ton of random anime.
So same as always is what you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
All right, fair enough.
Rinse and repeat.
There you go.
Now, let's talk about another show, shall we? A popular one with both Zealeus and I. Although I'm going to be totally honest with you, I have not seen any of the seasons with the new lead actor. What I'm talking about, of course, is Doctor Who.
I did.
There is a bit of a rift among the Whovians out there over the fact that this version of the Doctor doesn't have a signature outfit. You know, in past,
Yeah.
David Tennant's always had like the pinstripe,
Yep.
you know, thing. Matt Smith always had the bow tie, and for a chunk of it, the fez. You know, the Jodie Whittaker had the suspenders and the stripes. But this new Doctor,
Of course, you had. Don't forget about Mr. Baker and his scarf.
yes, that too. But this
Very,
one,
very iconic.
this version of the Doctor, is just, you know, I'm not gonna say he changes stuff willy nilly, but it he doesn't have that signature outfit, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of in the camp where I want him to have a signature outfit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't. Same with you. I haven't seen any of him, so it's hard for me to say like if it's good or bad thing. I guess the question is does the constant changing outfits also fit the personality of the Doctor?
Right.
So, if that's part of it, but you're all right. Like, there's definitely part of the iconicness. And, someone who goes to Dragon Con and partakes in the Who Festival,
Mm-hmm.
There is something fun about seeing somebody dressed up and, like what Doctor they are. It's very evident. So that is kind of part of the iconic nature of Doctor Who. But I still feel like even then, I mean, I don't know how to say this without being racist, but I guess if somebody's African American,
Yeah,
and they wear, because you're right, even though he doesn't have the same outfit, I can picture him kind of like in those like striped kind of bright shirts.
yeah,
So if you see somebody kind of like in a, African American, like those kind of shirts and like something that looks like a pen, you're probably going to guess that they're Doctor Who.
mm-hmm.
So even though, like, I guess in my mind, even though you're right, it's not like the same, like they're always wearing the suit or they always have, the little fedora hat, not fedora hat, the
Fez.
Thank you, the fez hat.
Mm-hmm.
It still is a certain style, I guess I can picture him in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he at least has that going for him.
Mm. Sam, I think that there are people out there who are younger than 40 who knew Doctor Who is, okay?
Wow. So I feel like I just threw shade at us. I'm just saying. I will say, like, at the Doctor Who things that I go to at Dragon Con, it definitely leans old. But there are some youngins. Now, to be fair, the youngins are usually with their parents. But I do think it's a fair statement, even with the current generation of Doctor Who shows, the crowd I see definitely tends to be on the older crowd.
Yeah. Doctor Who was PBS in the 70s when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was on PBS, right.
Wow.
Then there was a break, and then they came back.
Yep.
And, there was like the new Doctor Who.
The new Who.
Um,
But now the new Who is becoming an old Who because, like, it's been a few years since the OG, since number 9 Eccles.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think the showrunner basically is saying it means you can put on any costume and say I'm the Doctor today. It's basically what the showrunner is saying.
I mean,
but
yeah.
even then, I don't know. Because of all the iterations that I've watched, and they've had that signature look.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Guess what? Yeah. It's just one of those things. Change is good.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Now, speaking of TV shows, let's go on to, there is a new anime that's highly anticipated. But it is already sparking lots of anger from the fan base. And there's an anime out there called The Beginning After the End. And there is a petition that is growing by the day that wants the animation studio that's created this show to pull down all of the episodes and redo it all, because what they've done is absolute horseshit. Especially when it comes to the action scenes. It looks like, you know, those old school, I don't know, oh my God, it's not really old school, but it's like the comics, like the video comics that were on the web where there's minimal movement. That show is kind of like that. And I've actually watched the first 2 episodes, so I kind of agree that it doesn't look good, and it probably could look better. Like, the action sequences are all still shots, and they just kind of like pan. It's weird.
Yeah, it's tricky because it can. I haven't seen the anime, and I kind of think of like video game art style sometimes. Like, think of like Guild Wars 2, for instance, where you look at the cutscenes and they're not really animated. You most just have like stills.
Right.
But I think it also works extremely well for the type of game Guild Wars 2 is. Like, it fits with the art style. So that works because you still have the rest of the game. Like,
right.
It's not like it's all just like that. So in that context, that works. But when it comes to an anime, and for what I read, like the actual, source material has a lot of action in it.
Mm-hmm.
You want a good looking action. I mean, it'd be kind of like, something we've watched is solo leveling, right?
Yeah.
A large part of the solo leveling is those action sequences.
Yes.
And if you took that action sequence and they're just kind of still frame shots, like, it would kind of suck.
Mm-hmm.
So, I get where the fans could be coming from in that perspective, where I think you definitely have a certain perspective what it should look like. And, you just look at Crunchyroll lately with like, how many simulcasts do they have all the time? And Netflix is trying to obviously become like a anime powerhouse now.
Yep.
Like, you gotta have a pretty freaking good anime nowadays to make a staple, especially in someone like me who doesn't watch a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if I watched it and the animation's kind of like, I'm not going to last long.
Right. Especially when it's the simulcast where it's being an episode a week.
Oh, I don't even bother with animes that are simulcast. I know I'm not going to come back to them. So I'm like, like solo leveling, I always find a way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, but I find it interesting. I know. I mean, I understand. There's always petitions out there about here's an example of a very successful petition that was when the original cut or the original trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out, and everyone's like, "What the shit is that? That is not Sonic the Hedgehog." And Sega went back and they redid all of what Sonic looked like. Though I did find it really funny that in the Chip and Dale movie that Disney has, they have the ugly Sonic as a guy who shows up to a convention.
Nice.
But I mean, but I just don't know with anime being popped out so fast, and also like how much, like what were they? Like
I think it'd be hard for them to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's when it comes. Like, you're right. Like, Sonic is something they kind of had to. They probably realized, like, well, this isn't going to work.
Yeah,
and it's worked out well, obviously. I mean,
now they've got 3 and they're working on number 4.
Yeah, and first Sonic I've seen was Sonic 3.
Yep.
But it was fun, entertaining, and obviously set up for a 4th one. Like, sure, why not?
I mean, I feel like there's a petition out there every single day
for something. Yeah,
I think that unfortunately, this might be a case of this anime will run however many episodes and then go to the wayside, and people will have to go back and just read the comic and not be able to enjoy an animated version of it.
I mean, it's kind of in a way, why I watch anime is good animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's why it's in that form.
Especially in an action anime, you want to actually see the action.
Yeah,
Just
I would agree with that.
All right. So, a buddy of mine who's a huge tabletop board game person sent me a list of the top 10 all-time best-selling board games.
Best-selling board games?
Yes, best-selling board games. Now, Zealeus, I just want you to take a guess at what might be on this list.
Monopoly?
Monopoly is indeed on the list, and that is number, let me make sure here, because number 4 on the list.
Risk?
Actually, Sam's right. Chess is number 1.
Okay, I was going to ask, what is considered a board game?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Chess is number
checkers?
1. Number 2 is checkers.
Checkers? That was my guess. Yeah, so okay, sorry. This is not a slight against chess at all.
Yeah.
I don't consider chess a board game.
I
when I think of board games in the context of like what are the top board games, I think of like not checkers and chess. That's just me. Like,
I agree.
Chinese checkers, that doesn't count either.
Right.
That's probably in the top. Yeah, like Mahjong, like do we consider Mahjong now?
Backgammon's on the list as well, and I don't consider that as either.
What is backgammon?
Backgammon, yeah.
Backgammon's hell no, that is not a board game. So yeah, like I think in order to be a board game, like it has to be played on a board. And yes, I know chess can be played on a board.
I mean, yes, there is a checkered board that you play on, but when I think board game, I think Game of Life, which is also on there, which is number 10.
Okay.
Number 9 is Candyland.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if there's any like newer ones, like Ticket to Ride or any of those. Okay.
It's the ones that've been around forever. So, like,
Makes sense.
Trivial Pursuit.
Ah, yes.
Battleship. Clue.
Yep.
Scrabble.
No.
Yeah.
Like, just no. Oh.
So, but here's the top 3: backgammon, checkers, and chess, which I don't agree with because, like Zealeus said, so if you take those 3 out, then you're looking at Monopoly, Scrabble, which I think doesn't need to be on the list either, Clue, Battleship, Trivial Pursuit, Game of Life. Oh, shit, I missed one. Candyland and Game of Life.
Is to me not a board game either. I'm sorry.
What about Shoots and Ladders?
Yeah, Shoots and Ladders is a board game. I would say Borderline. Okay, I'd say Battleship. Okay, I could actually see Battleship as a board game. I'm actually fine with that now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Shoots and Ladders, yes. But just like those classic v2 games, they're not board games to me.
Yeah.
Like especially in the colloquial sense of when we say board game.
I'm just happy they didn't put Jenga in there.
Or like poker.
Oh, some
random hold on a poker game or
cribbage.
A card game. Ooh, man, I haven't played cribbage in a long time. Hearts, spades,
Crazy Eights, Old Maid.
Okay, what about Uno?
Right. Well, I don't consider that a board game because I think we're basically in the card game section. If they went card game, if they try to put cards in board game, I think that there's 2 separate entities. Honestly,
really what?
I think that card games are different than board games.
No, yeah, I would agree with that. But obviously, the author of this article is off the rocker, anyways.
Yeah. The other thing is if you look at Candyland, that's a trademark thing.
Yeah.
And so there's only one Candyland. Yes, there's different versions of it, but the owner is, I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. Milton Bradley maybe. But like chess And anyone and everyone can make a chess board and chess pieces.
Chess has been made for like thousands of years. So like
you can have a Super Mario chess board.
Ooh.
My son's got a Jurassic Park chess board.
Nice. I would get confused on what, dinosaurs what.
Well, thankfully they have the piece symbols on there, so you know what the pawn. It's on the base of all the dinosaurs, because otherwise yes. And by the way, the T-Rex is the king.
So the real question is, what does our local chess enthusiasts think of like these crazy ass like chess renditions, like
Sam,
dinosaurs for chess pieces?
Yeah, Sam, what is your opinion of when you have these themed chess boards? The Simpson chessboard. I mean, there's a ton of them. But I mean, that's the thing. That's why I think that invalidates awful. Nobody likes playing on them. Yeah.
I do like a good like art piece style of chess, but I'm talking like, the carved marble that looks really nice.
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with like artist interpretation of, maybe they, instead of the old school chessboard, the chess pieces, maybe having a little bit more artistic creation with the rooks, and make it look more like a castle tower, and have the knights actually have like a knight riding on back of a horse, something so
you can look at it and know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
actually,
I like keeping it in the traditional style.
There was a great game on the PC way back when called Battle Chess. That was great artistic. You knew what the pieces were, but they all were, actual characters, like the Queen.
So you mean Harry Potter?
Yeah. You could see, wizard chess looking stuff. Sure.
That's what we need more. We need more wizard chess in our life.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't agree with. First of all, backgammon. Who the fuck plays backgammon?
Our parents. His parents.
Maybe, I don't know. Jeez,
I remember having a backgammon set growing up, but like we never played it.
I made up games with the backgammon set because I had no idea what you were. Ooh, how about Yahtzee?
That's how I played cribbage. I had no idea how to play cribbage for most of my life.
How about Yahtzee?
Yahtzee! Rummy Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in dice games.
I've got so many freaking board games in this house that I don't know what to do with. There are a lot of fun games. There's some really, how about card games that you play on a board?
I was just thinking like Munchkins. It's actually more of a card game than a board game.
That's true.
You don't even have a board.
That's true. I love Munchkins, though. Man, I haven't played that in forever. Oh, memories.
Mm-hmm.
But now Munchkins are going to be up in price, as we discussed last week, with the Steve Jackson Games news. Thank you for all your effing tariffs. Speaking of tariffs, let's talk about the fact that there is a monster campaign in a box board game called Gloomhaven.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's a new version coming out, the revised version of the game, Gloomhaven 2nd Edition.
Oh.
The publishers of it have released a statement, and I'm going to read it for you because that's what we do. Now, the revised version of that game, Gloomhaven Second Edition, is effectively trapped overseas due to the Trump administration's new tariff on China. As of Wednesday morning, those tariffs increased from a historically high 145% to an astronomical 245%, nearly doubling publisher Cephaflare Games' tax burden. It's simply not a bill that the company can afford to pay. These tariffs are a doomsday scenario for the U.S. board game industry. This is coming from the founder of the developer. It is just not economically feasible to bring board games into the U.S. at such tariff rates, which is already starting to dry up sales, causing an impact on retailers and distributors that I suspect will be much worse than COVID. The chief operating officer was interviewed with CNN on Tuesday afternoon and did not mince words. We're not getting that product. It's staying over there unless something changes, and we're going to need to pivot essentially all of our U.S. sales operations. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's not mince words. We in the United States of America do not have the infrastructure to create all of the pieces to make amazing board games here. We sent it overseas. A lot of it went to China. And now, in order for us to get the products that we create, we have to get it from China. And those tariffs that are in place are causing astronomical increase in prices. And so it's not feasible, because this is not a, what you call it? What's oh my God, I'm thinking of the word, where it's not pay to print. That's not the right word, but it's not a situation where these guys have to have an inventory of all this shit. It's not, you order it and then they make it for you. What is the print on demand? There we go. Jesus Christ, Charlie. Couldn't think of it. It's not a print on demand situation.
I got you. Yeah. You've already been printed up, but it sucks because it's messing with businesses' livelihoods and people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
And just,
This is why we cannot have nice things. For reals.
Nope. We're just going to have... You can always get Gloomhaven the video game.
Okay, I keep seeing that pop up. What is that?
You can basically play it like on your PC with people.
But what is it?
It's like... it's like Dungeons and Dragons, where it's like tabletop, like you got your characters going through like a dungeon, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not story, like it is story driven, but it's not like RPG driven, where like you have like you're telling your story and stuff. But it's all about the combat type of game. And apparently, it's really hard, and everyone's going to die multiple times.
Fantastic. So like Souls.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's a Souls-like board game. I never thought of it that way. But apparently, that's basically what it is from a board game perspective. But you just go through with like your characters and you combat and stuff. And I know it's a big deal to have like big elaborate, in like the real life version, they have like elaborate tabletops and like printed figurines and painted and all that shit.
Right.
So I know that's like a big part of it too, to get into that. Yeah, I know people who like it. Apparently, if you're really into it, it's awesome. But it's also something you kind of have to be in a group for, is my understanding. Like, you just can't, like, a lot of the board games you could just pick up and play for a couple of hours or 30 minutes and you're done. But Gloomhaven is definitely one of those games where it's like, it's an ongoing struggle against the evil of Gloomhaven, I guess. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some happy news. How about that? Can we talk about something happy? Is that even
Finally.
feasible in this day and age?
Yes, please do. Please do.
How about this? Coming May 1st, Lego will be introducing 9 new Star Wars sets. You can now create the Lego Star Wars Jango Fett fire spray, which of course is going to retail for $300.
Damn!
The Lego Star Wars Chopper droid. Chopper, of course, is from Star Wars Rebels. That's going to cost you a cool $100. You could do the Lego Star Wars Kylo Ren's command shuttle for $70. You could do a Lego Star Wars logo, which looks really cool, for $60. You have the Lego Star Wars Kylo Ren helmet and the Lego Star Wars Jango Fett helmet. Both those are going to be $70. You have the Lego Star Wars U-Wing for $70. You have the Lego Star Wars Brickheads Luke Skywalker for $10. Or the Lego Star Wars Brickheads Revenge of the Sith, which has Anakin. Oh gosh, I don't know who all is on that one. Let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna cheat here. No, I don't. Stop. Just stop. Okay, it's got Mace Windu, Emperor Palpatine, General Grievous, Anakin Skywalker, and Padme.
So I'm looking at their website.
Mm-hmm.
You can also get the highest price one, the Millennium Falcon, and the AT-AT for $850 each.
Yeah, but how many pieces are in that thing?
The Millennium Falcon is, good Lord,
Yeah.
7,500 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yes, Legos aren't cheap. Like, we can establish that, but it's also like you're getting like a giant project out of this.
Oh, yeah.
This thing, like somebody like me who doesn't really do Legos, I can't really honestly imagine how long it would take me to build this damn thing.
Oh, dude, I would be so gung-ho. I've the couple times I've picked up, I've done a bunch of the Lego floral things, and I can pound that sucker out super duper quick.
Trying to find the dimensions of it. I mean, the thing looks pretty damn big.
Oh, I'm sure it's humongous. With that many pieces, it's got to be large.
It measures
8
inches high, 33 inches long, and 23 inches wide.
So it's almost 3 feet by 2 feet.
That's
not a small Lego thing. That's like a centerpiece you put on. You got to get one of those display tables and put it on the glass. I
literally wouldn't have room in my house for it. Like,
sending hugs to you boys from Kim in Iowa.
Oh, hey, it's Kim. It took me a second
Kim!
to yes. So hold on. This is what. Wait, where did that go? Damn it.
While Zealeus is looking for something, Kim, what do you think? Do you say that chess, backgammon, and checkers should be considered board games? That's what I want to know. Did you find it, Zealeus?
Yes. My copy and pasting is failing.
Ah, she says they are. Boo on that.
What? Nope, she's wrong. Sorry.
What you should get the family for Christmas. Oh, my God, no.
Yes. The Millennium Falcon, it could be a family project to build. Think of how much fun.
Oh, my God, dude. No, we would lose so many pieces because my kids are so scatterbrained. If I were to get that and build it myself, I don't play them in my house, but I'd be happy to go toe-to-toe with you again in Twilight Imperium. I don't have, Kim, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't have the time to reread that rule book ever. I'm sure it's a fantastic game.
definitely one of those games where you should have somebody who's like played it a number of times to just teach everyone.
Yes, we just need a rule lawyer. That's why I've got a couple of the Arkham horror games, but I'm scared to death of actually attempting to try to play it because I know that I just need someone who knows all the real rules, and then I'll just learn it from them. Actually, I've got 2 Arkham horrors and then the Mansion of Madness, which has a thick rule book as well. But anyways, they played Ravenscroft Lost Hard. Well, I don't think you're supposed to win many of the Arkham horror games. I think they basically set you up to fail.
That makes me sad. I don't want to lose.
What?
Can't we all just be
games
winners?
in which you lose? What?
That's when you change the rules so you win.
That's where you just throw out most of the rules. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pause for just a second to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore. And this, of course, is the friends of the show. To start it off, let's talk about the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout-out we got to give to is, of course, Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Wet Kid 47 Media. It's your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout-out we got to give is to anyone who's in the greater Atlanta area who's got all those aches and pains from spending way too much time in front of the computer or perhaps just the work desk, and that, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique health care practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Seriously, he works miracles, ladies and gentlemen. The next shout out we got to give is, of course, to the music maestro himself, CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for content just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The final shout out we got to give is to the original backer of Alter Confusion on Patreon, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, I know at this very moment in time, you are asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite simple. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and that's why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, vampires, werewolves, swamp creatures, mummies, zombies, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. We have the $1 tier, that's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky, you can jump that up to the $5 a month tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. What they get you is everything at the $1 tier, but you gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon, that's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Now, we also do have to tell you that we are super duper excited to announce that, ladies and gentlemen, for the 14th year straight, Altered Confusion will be participating in Extra Life. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best. Game to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life goes directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. Also, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I know that sometimes you are thinking to yourself, my God, I need some Altered Confusion swag. Well, have no fear. You too can be the proud owner of an Altered Confusion hat, or perhaps you would like an Altered Confusion mug, or maybe a vinyl sticker, which is very high quality because I've got one on my back windshield for, I don't know, the last 2 years, and it still looks like brand freaking new. Go over to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. And you can get yourself one of those items, as well as a notebook, I think. And a pet food bowl as well. All right. We got a couple more stories we can go through real quick for you. So let's get to it. Oops, I screwed up.
Story of my life.
Well, I don't remember what order that was, but we're just going to put it in that order. Okay. I don't want to say it's controversial, but there is a game out there that continues to get into trouble off and on, and they're getting sued again, and that, of course, is Roblox.
Oh, no.
They are... They're facing a lawsuit for yet another viral dance that they don't have a proper license for. Look, here's the thing about Roblox. I'm surprised they haven't faced like infinite lawsuits, because every single one of their damn games is a freaking copyright infringement. Because you've got the anime superheroes where they got Goku and Saitama from One Punch Man, and insert Naruto, and they're.
So are these assets that Roblox creates, or is this like the indie servers, people creating these assets?
So you have the creators create their games, and then Roblox hosts them.
So the question is, should Roblox be monitoring that? I guess is what it comes down to. What is their responsibility in this? Because they're not the ones actually creating the content, right? So,
right. However, they're allowing access to said content.
But that's the question. I mean, that's kind of the basis of the internet as a whole, right?
Right.
Are you responsible for hosting somebody else's content? That's a fundamental question. I mean, that's the safe harbors.
It's just like YouTube. When people upload TV shows to YouTube or movies to YouTube, is it YouTube, or is it the individual who uploaded it?
Exactly.
Or is it both?
Yeah. Ultimately, whose responsibility is it to monitor it? It's a good question.
I mean, I guess it really comes down to terms of service.
Well, I think that, and also, are they making money off of it? So
True.
Does Roblox financially profit directly from basically copyright infringement.
I wouldn't. So
To me, that changes the morality of it at least.
no, because okay, so from my understanding, you use Robux, their own what do you call it, proprietary money system,
Sure.
and
yeah.
you can, and they of course take a cut of any purchase that you do in any of these games.
So if I purchase a Goku for $10
Robux.
Robux,
Yeah.
then they
They
obviously
take like
making money because I had to buy
20%.
it through them in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Then in that case, I would say yes. Then Roblox does have the responsibility of monitoring it. That's kind of how I look at it, because they are directly monetarily profiting off of the content people are creating,
Which is an
whether they
IP
get
they don't
cut of it.
own.
Yeah, whether it's through the Robux or however they're doing it, they are profiting off it. Then yes, they should be monitoring it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's where I would come down on that.
Yeah. Roblox has been, I don't know, they just keep getting in trouble. What can I say? But then again, my kids have finally moved off of Roblox, and they are just absolutely 100%. They've thrown their lot into Gorilla Tag on the VR.
Oh, sure.
And dear God, am I sick and tired of them swinging their arms around and accidentally punching walls. Sam Grizzle says a tattoo artist once sued in the NFL Madden for recreating tats. Seems ridiculous. Should a player's barber be? Oh, the tattoo artist for LeBron James also tried to do that for his digital representation, because he said that it was his own IP. However, the reason why he lost his lawsuit is because LeBron paid him to put the ink on him. So even though it's a proprietary design, it's his name, image, likeness. It falls under that.
So what if I get a tattoo of Goku on my body? Then who gets the copyright proceeds? Because it's the artist's interpretation, but it's Goku, but it's on my body. What do you think?
I think we're now into the artist alley of every single convention and their artistic interpretation of all the IPs out there.
True. Yeah, and that's
So meta, Doovie.
You're right though. That is the artist alley, and that's why I enjoy the artist alleys.
Yeah.
They're
As long
fun.
as they're actually doing the work. And we've already been on this discussion. You can't just take someone's art, throw a couple filters on it in paint shop, and then sell it for $50 a pop.
But I mean, I know that was a couple of years ago at
MomoCon.
not MomoCon. Wasn't that Kanuga?
No, it was
Was it-
MomoCon.
Yeah, but now
Because
I mean,
he had done it in several different conventions and had gotten kicked out of those. And then but of course, at any convention, you have to apply so early on to get that space, right? And so he started getting kicked out after he had already, did that. But once MomoCon was made aware, because all the artists were like, this dude is here, security.
well, of course, now you have the question of AI generated artwork, and should that be allowed at conventions?
Oh man, that is whoo. That's a.
And of course, what is that threshold of too much AI for creating it?
Right.
I mean, it's a sliding scale. It's not a yes or no.
Here's my deal. Here's my thing. Here's my personal advice, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to the artist aisle or artist alley, and you see some artwork that is phenomenal, if you have an artist who's sitting there sketching their next piece of art, then I think that you should go. If it's someone who's literally just staring at you, and it does not do a single artistic thing except sell their stuff, then I start to wonder. Unless, of course, it's like some kind of like sculpture or something, because I don't think people are going to make then. But then again, maybe some people are going to make sculptures.
or you can't actually go sketch this when you're in the valley. So even then, it's not always just a drawing, to your point. It's what about the 3D objects?
Right.
And how does that then play into the equation?
If it looked like more than just, I found this shit, I printed it out on glossy paper, and now I'm going to have people buy it, then, because I have 3 mugs that are laser etched with, let's see, I've got Thor's hammer, the Hyrulean Master Sword and Shield, and then I think I've got like Cthulhu's tentacles on one.
But ironically, to me, those require the least amount of artistic skill whatsoever.
Right.
They're literally just basically taking an SGV file, putting it into a laser cutting software, and just doing it for them.
Right.
So, like, again, I know we see those all the time in conventions. They're extremely prevalent. But, like, that requires no skill.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go buy a laser engraver today and do it if I felt like. So
well, it's like the TV, not TV, the T-shirt print things.
Yeah, that's just as bad. No, 100%. Yeah, anybody can, and especially like, I'm just calling out the brain out if they are, just because it's one that comes to the top of my head. Like T-Turtle, for instance, that's a really big one, and I don't know about them in particular, but I have no doubt a lot of those T-shirt vendors are just using AI to create their slogans.
Yeah.
They're just using AI to like mismatch these different IPs, and then they just throw them onto a T-shirt maker.
Yeah.
So in that case, for sure.
Now, if you're looking for some dude who actually does some amazing stuff, let me make sure I get this right here. So give me 1 second. I'm pulling him up on Facebook here. John. Shoot, what is his name? Oh shit, I forgot his name. Disney sues small daycare centers for character paintings, legal or not. Seems petty. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. But the thing is, Disney and Nintendo are super protective of their IPs. They don't want anyone to make any money off it. I mean, yeah. Damn it. It's gonna drive me nuts.
More so than you already are.
Yes.
I can see the cogs turning. He's really trying here, ladies and gents.
Jonathan Rosenbaum.
I recognize the name.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at Zealeus over, let's see here. If you're watching this video, to Zealeus's left, yep, that picture up there is a Jonathan Rosenbaum original for Alter Confusion, and he has some amazing art that you definitely need to check out. Highly recommend it.
Indeed, it is quite nice.
Now, of course, if we're doing shout outs, another shout I got to give is to if you're looking for amazing pencil and paper RPGs, then you can't go wrong with Nerdburger Games.
Mr. Craig Campbell.
Exactly. And then one more, I am going to do a shout out for an amazing, really kooky author who does amazing work, and that, of course, is John Hartness.
Sorry, that one I don't have bookmarked.
Let me see here. I could do that real quick here. But his stuff, I met him. I hung out with him. He is a cool motherfucker. And his website literally said in the title is, I drink and I write things. So
that would have been really awkward if you're like, he's a total asshole, but I like his artwork anyways.
No, he's an amazing author. Highly recommend Let's see if I can find some of his book. Any of the Quincy Harker stuff is great.
And the pop-up to purchase 10% off is a picture of a cat in a box.
Yeah. Although his
I don't know. I don't
website's
think I've
acting
actually
really
getting a
weird.
cat in a box. I think that's false advertising.
I mean, he's got 9 books of the Quincy Harker series, 8 books in the Black Knight Chronicles. He's good. He's good. Anyways. All right. Kim says, it's crazy to me that Disney sues for IPs that they themselves stole or acquired from Common Space and claim it's their own. It's all crazy. This is true. Disney, if you look at, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is not theirs. The Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast. They take, what do you call it? Little Mermaid. That's true.
They take liberty with the original story, make it their own.
Yeah, they take common fairy tales and they put the Disney effect on it, and then it's off limits to everybody.
And then get copyright.
Alice in Wonderland
to be extended for their IP.
Mm-hmm. Alice in Wonderland is another one. Yeah, I almost feel like I need to. If I ever had the brain space to actually sit down and I should just write like a fanfic of one of these common fairy tales.
And then make it your own. And then make millions.
Make millions. Yeah. What I keep forgetting, what's the term for when it's common
Common domain.
Huh?
Common domain?
Yeah, I think it's common domain. Oh boys, there are tons of those dark romance novels. Oh, yeah, no, believe me. There's some really dark, like Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, public domain. Thank you. Public domain.
That's right. The common domain doesn't sound right either.
Yeah, no, public domain. There's some dark. I mean, look at the movies that just came out. The Winnie the Pooh horror movie and the Steamboat Willie horror movie, and I think there's a Pinocchio horror movie out there as well.
Sure. Give an adult spin on it. Why not?
Yeah. This is for grown-ups, kids. Let's talk about. Well, the other thing is, like, if you look at the Hans Christian Andersen version of a lot of these, or the Grimm the Grimm brothers version of some of these fairy tales, it's some really dark shit to start off with, like Red Riding Hood and whatnot. I mean, there's some of these stories that Disney has beautified are not as clean as they originally were.
So I'm hearing is you need to teach your kids right and give them the original Grimm story instead of the Disney-fied version.
So your children never sleep again. Yes, absolutely. Yep, that's it.
I mean, I don't see an issue with this.
Disney has a team that combs through all material that is about to go into public domain and has documents set up to acquire it the second it does so they can claim it for 50 years and then continues renewals. But it's the Dwight Schrute approach. Schrute approach. Right. Which is also why you see, like, but I think there's like a caveat where you have to have, you got to show some evolution, because Steamboat Willie is Mickey Mouse, but it's not Mickey Mouse. And that went public domain. So there is an end. You can't renew it indefinitely. But you always see like little tweaks to Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. All that stuff. So, yeah. Zealeus, you been playing anything recently?
Last Epoch Season 2 came out today. That's what I'll be playing.
I'm still playing Avowed. I finally got to a moral decision where I hated both the red pill and the blue pill, and I felt really freaking bad about the choice I made.
But was it the right choice to make?
Huh?
Was it the right choice to make?
Maybe. I don't know. Kim says all they have to do is show developments on paper, not actualized, so they can have a script that never comes to fruition. It's all sucky. Or you could have the deal that was it Sony had, where they had to make an X-Men movie ever so often, otherwise or X-Men or Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
They had to make one ever so often, otherwise they lost the IP.
And it doesn't have to be actual Spider-Man. It could be like Venom. It just has to be in the same universe.
Yep.
And that's why you get so many shitty ones.
Yes. But the Avowed moral choice was it was gut-wrenching. I don't want to give anything away, but this one finally made me feel nasty, like gross for making my decision because there were lives on the line.
Oh, dear.
And,
but it means that the game was doing something right to get you that emotionally invested.
Yes. But then again, I'm still, but then the morality goes out of the window the next place I go, and you just walk up to people who have items just sitting right behind them. You could still just pick them up with no consequences. So weird.
Wow.
And the lip syncing still sucks.
Yeah.
But anyways. Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately, I do not have any more topics. We were able to get all through them. I know that we started a little bit late, so we are actually kind of close to where we usually are for our show. For the the usual length of the show. Zealeus, are you here next Thursday?
Physically, I don't know about mentally.
Oh well, we'll take what we can get, right?
Yeah, you'll get some of me, but not the best of me.
There you go. It's Alter Confusion copyright or public domain? Copyrighted. If you can't test morality in a video game in virtual space, what's the point?
I don't know, Kim. I just like to go kill things in my video games. That's the fun. That's my morality, is I smash everything with a big hammer.
Zealeus, he just wants death and destruction. He doesn't want
unless it's
no
a good
strings
one,
attached.
like Mass Effect or like those type of BioWare games where it's actually good. By good, I mean interesting morality choices.
Right. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I always play.
It's just straight kill or be killed. Damn the consequences.
That's how I bring out my aggression in real life.
Exactly.
Through video games. It's better that than punching my monitor.
Yeah, that's probably better. City of Statues? Don't know. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, had to make decisions through time on a clock. Ugh.
I don't know. That sounds stressful.
Very stressful. Very stressful. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap up the show. We could stay around a little bit afterwards, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.